This is the gulf that we must close through deliberate and sustained efforts to expand opportunity. This is the gulf that we must close through the economic empowerment of those who were prevented from accessing those opportunities. Now is not the time to abandon Black economic empowerment. Now is not the time to make it, now is the time to make it even more effective. Now, just remember what our forebears who drafted the Freedom Charter said. They said, these freedoms we will fight for side by side throughout our lives until we have won our liberty. We should all be working together to ensure that we rid our country of the injustices of the past. So therefore, we must see broad-based Black economic not as a cost to the economy, but as an investment in the sustainable growth of our economy. And that is why I announced in the State of the Nation that we are undertaking a review of broad-based Black economic empowerment framework to ensure that it supports greater transformation and inclusive growth. During the course of this debate, MPs have spoken on behalf of their political parties. Now, when they are out there in the streets, they obviously campaign for their political parties. But in cabinet, there are no parties. There are no ANC, DA, IFP, PA, UDM, GOOD, FF+, or PAC or Al-Jama ministers. Every minister and deputy minister is appointed by the president, not on a party political basis, is part of a collective working together to implement a common program to medium-term development plan. So no minister or deputy minister should be publicly claiming their work in the GNU as an achievement of their party. In many cases, the basis for their achievements were laid before they even came into office. And in many cases, the work that we realize that will also realize the objectives will be the work that we do together. Our successes and our achievements are the achievements of a collective. By the same measure, we are collectively responsible for our mistakes and our shortcomings. It is our commitment to the principle of partnership and shared responsibility that has made this government of national unity to work, and that will stand us in good stead for the work ahead. We are undertaking the various tasks that we've been given by our people in a global environment that is uncertain, unstable, and that is rapidly changing. During our presidency of the G20, we set out our clear vision and program for a better, more inclusive and peaceful and more equal world. Most of the G20 countries overwhelmingly aligned themselves with the vision that South Africa put on the table. It is a vision that is shared by most members of the United Nations, BRICS nations, and the non-aligned movement. We will continue to work with like-minded countries and on all available international platforms to advance that vision and to implement that program. The African continent remains the center of our foreign policy. South Africa is now the chair of SADC for the next 2 years, and we will use that position to promote peace, integration, and economic development in our region. We have also been elected to the AU Peace and Security Council. In this capacity, we will be working with other countries to promote peace efforts on the continent. At the AU Summit in Addis Ababa this past weekend, we chaired the ad hoc high-level committee on South Sudan, known as the C5, which is working to stabilize the situation in South Sudan, ensuring that elections take place and that a sustainable resolution to the conflict in that country is achieved. Now, the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, has been my envoy in making sure that South Africa continues to be involved and to lead the process of stabilizing that country. We do this because a better Africa and a better world are in our national interest. At the same time, we are having to adapt very quickly to changing circumstances. We cannot rely on the goodwill and fine sentiments of those who pronounce them on world platform. That is why we're being more assertive in our trade policy, seeking out new markets and reaching trade agreements that support our growth and job creation efforts. We are intensifying our efforts to mobilize investments into our country and find investment opportunities for our businesses abroad. This relies on a stronger, more capable state. Our foreign missions must be focused on driving trade and investment. The Deputy President and myself and ministers will continue to scour various countries in the world, opening markets and reaching agreements. We are working to ensure that our departments, from DTIC to agriculture, to mineral resources, to tourism, are aligned around a common trade strategy. Amid the global turmoil, we have set a clear path to advance the interests of our country and its people, and we must now pursue that path with even greater focus and vigor. 30 years ago, South Africans came together to craft a constitution that has been dubbed as one of the very best constitutions in the world, which defines the values and the principles of our democracy. It places on it and on us a responsibility to correct the injustices of the past and to ensure that all people would progressively be able to exercise their right to housing, healthcare, food, water, social security, and education. As a nation, we have traveled far in giving effect to the promise of our Constitution, but we have much further to go. It is therefore fitting that this year, South Africans will once again come together to forge a vision for our country into the future and to agree on a program of actions that we need to achieve to make that vision alive. This is the year in which the national dialogue will reach every corner of our country. This dialogue is led by a steering committee of more than 100 people representing 30 sectors of our society. It continues to be guided and inspired by the eminent persons group of prominent South Africans, drawn from many fields and backgrounds, who have all made a contribution to social cohesion and nation building. It is ultimately the people of this country, engaged in dialogue and united in action, who will determine the path our country takes. Dialogue and partnership are essentially woven into the fabric and the DNA of our society. They have enabled our country to overcome great difficulties, from the crime of apartheid to the political violence of our transition, to a devastating global pandemic and to a persistent energy crisis. It is the spirit that infuses the work of the Government of National Unity, that informs our approach to collaboration and coordination, that encourages us to draw on the resources and capabilities from across society and to solve difficult and almost at times intractable problems. It is dialogue and partnership that will take our country forward. It is the people of South Africa working together who will sustain the momentum of our recovery and who will accelerate progress to an inclusive economy and a transformed society. As I conclude, I want to extend my gratitude to the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, for his support and leadership that he continues to provide to me and to government for all the work that we do together. And I want to thank ministers and deputy ministers for diligently implementing the actions that are contained in the medium-term development plan. Now, the Deputy President and I are currently spending considerable amount of time evaluating ministers and deputy ministers as well as their directors general. This is part of an effort to promote accountability, to engender a culture of performance and ensure action. I'm grateful to the leaders of the political parties in the Government of National Unity, who I meet regularly to discuss matters of national interest, and their contributions have been very useful in managing the challenges our country faces. And I thank all of you honorable members who have participated in this debate and who are present here. As the elected representatives of the people of South Africa, we have much to do. Now is the time for action, for greater effort, and for faster progress. Together and in unity, we can do it. Last year, I spoke about the imagery of weaver birds that work together to build their nest. Today, I want to end by using another imagery of beavers who work together to build their own nest, but they do much more than that. Beavers are like a team of engineers. They work together to fell branches, pack mud houses, to raise dams and lodges, and create a safe neighborhood of deep water around their home. Beavers are a reminder that real building is rarely a solo act. And think of a river that runs too fast, that is too exposed, too uncertain. One beaver cannot change it, but a community of beavers can do so. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They start with what's in reach. One drags a branch, another places it, others pack mud and strengthen the weak points. Bit by bit, they raise a wall, they raise a dam, and shape a lodge, not as a monument, but as a home. And what does that teamwork create? Not just a structure, but a safer environment, calmer water, protection from danger, space for life to grow. Their work turns risk into refuge. It doesn't happen through noise or ego. It happens through coordination, consistency, a shared purpose, and cooperation. That's what working together looks like, and that's how it should be. We don't all have the same role, but every role matters. Some people plan, some people lift, some people reinforce, some people spot the leaks early and fix them before they become disasters. When we build like that, patiently, practically, together, we don't just complete a project. We complete and create a neighborhood. We create a nation, a place where others can thrive because we choose to cooperate and to work together. So let's build like beavers, with urgency, with unity, and with the quiet determination to make something strong, strong enough to hold, something that lasts and something that shelters more than just ourselves. Let us be the real builders, honorable members. Let us be the real builders of South Africa, working together, like we are in the government of national unity. Thank you very much.
Order, honorable members. On behalf of myself and the National Council of Provinces, we would like to thank the President for responding to the debate, but also thank honorable members for your participation during the 2 days and even today. I just want to remind members once again that let us remember our rules, our joint rules, particularly if the two houses are in session, but also when individually our houses are sitting, let's remember the rules that we had agreed to. Again, I would ask once more that when a member has not been recognized, please don't open the mic and speak on it, because it does disturb those who are making their inputs on the podium. While interjection is allowed, let's also try and respect one another so that people can be heard. Today you have just been so wonderful, and I really like to thank all of you for having been the best members in this session. Now, we're coming to the end of our business. The joint sitting is adjourned.
Some beavers still.
We are happy ANC and MK got a room last night.
The beavers must stop stealing.